Okay, new favorite makeup look unlocked. So if you want to see how I did this, then just keep watching. It's currently raining, so it's like cozy vibes outside. I have some incense burning. I've got my tea. We've got good vibes going. So we're just gonna do some full glam, some full beat makeup today. I think I'm gonna go for some classic neutral glam with some shimmers. I think to truly encompass like the OG vibes, I'm gonna go with my ColourPop Bare Necessities palette. I'm gonna start with Hot Gossip. It's just a neutral tan shade, a few shades deeper than my skin tone. And I'm gonna pop this first in the crease. And I'm gonna make sure to kind of like pull it out at the ends here. I've been loving some of the newer like makeup like peoples that I've been coming across, more specifically on TikTok, specifically my girl Ariana. I think she goes by Ariana Mui. I love her. Her makeup slays, and I love her personality, like everything. She's fucking gorgeous. I love that girl so much. So next I'm gonna go into the shade Banter, which is kind of a bit more of a cooler taupey brown shade. I'm gonna focus this more on the outer third of my eye. I'll pop up a few other creators that I've been loving lately. I feel like all of these creators give the OG like makeup community, or that a lot of us love. I'm gonna take like a smaller, like fluffy kind of pencil brush. This is from AOA Studios. And let's see, I think I'm gonna dip into the shade Velveteen. It's like a deeper chocolate brown. And I'm gonna use this to start to like deepen up the outer V of my eye. Feel free to like list any creators that you personally like to follow. I don't want someone who's pushing products and stuff. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not a fan of Michaela. I'm not a fan of Jaclyn Hill. I'm not a fan of James Charles, Jeffree Star, none of them. That's the exact type of thing that I kind of want to combat and not be a part of. I'm going to take this small pencil brush and I'm going to go into the shade Bubbles, and I'm going to put this against the lash line to kind of like smoke it out. I am going to do a wing like with liquid liner, but I want to use this just to give like a smoky base for my eyeliner first. Kind of like soften it even more. And then I always like to go in with like a lighter color. I think I want to do a video trying some of my favorite creators' makeup techniques. Like Ariana, she uses concealer as the base of the bright part of her eyeshadow. She incorporates it into her base. It's very interesting, and I haven't really seen anyone else do a technique like that. I also want to do Uche's like full beat. Her makeup, oh my god, is like also very much everything. If you look at like their makeup styles, like you get like the type of makeup that I like, you know? Yes, I'm manhandling a handful of Q-tips. This is how you know I haven't done my makeup in a hot minute. It honestly just hasn't felt right to talk about makeup and shit when people are literally getting kidnapped by ICE and billionaires are eating fucking babies. And why should I, in my little corner of the internet, be talking about makeup when like people's families are being ripped apart? But I also think two things. Like one, this is something I've always wanted to do. By the way, I'm gonna go in with full expose. I feel like this is something I've always wanted to do, and I know even when I'm small, there's obviously some truth to feeling like it doesn't feel like the right time to talk about makeup and shit when the world is going through what it's going through, but also at the same time using your platforms for good, and good people should show up in these spaces. Like, I think unfortunately, especially in the beauty community specifically, there's a lot of money hungry, like unempathetic, terrible people who are the faces of it. And I do think good people deserve to take up space in those communities and be the faces of it and be the change that we want to see. And if I want to like see that change, then why not do it myself also? That's just me very lightly spilling out. Like I have literally no audience whatsoever, so I'm not really even talking to anybody specific. Weird fucking transition. I don't know how to transition back, but I used a little bit of Idle Hour, kind of more in like the center of my eye, because I do want to add some like shimmer, but I'll do that a little bit more so later. I'm gonna move into like base now, using my L'Oreal Lumi Glotion, kind of as like a primer slash like glowy skin tint moment. Like for work, very minorly do my makeup. I work in the medical field, like front desks, and a lot of times I'm wearing a mask, so I usually don't do like a full face of makeup or anything. So sometimes like this is like all I'll do, and then I'll put in like some brow gel or something. I'm gonna use the e.l.f. liquid poreless putty primer, more like around my nose area, like this. So first I'm gonna try the Morphe Wake Up Artist Under Eye Correcting Concealer. This one's in the shade Peach. I don't really color correct much, but I mean, you can see I have dark circles. One of my favorite creators, Monica, I love her content, and she was talking about her favorite color correctors, and this was actually one of them, so it made me want to try it. I actually used, I think, a little bit too much because I kind of ended up pulling it down a bit lower than I would have wanted to, but I'm gonna lightly set that in place with my L'Oreal Infallible setting powder. Just a very, very light little bit to make sure that it doesn't mix in with your actual concealer. For foundation today, I'm going to go with my tried and true, my House Labs Triclone Foundation in 210. And because I'm in my prime winter mode, I'm going to use a touch of the LA Color Foundation Mixing Pigment to tone it down just a little bit. That is like a really good color for me. I love this foundation, and honestly, ever since I finally bought this, it's made me even happier, because like the 210, it's just slightly warmer than my natural skin tone when I'm in my full winter mode. Once I actually like go outside a little bit and have a little bit more color to my face, it'll be perfect. I feel like that, you know, that's just how it be. But using the like pigments helps so much, so I don't have to feel like I need to get a whole ass other shade. Now I'm gonna take my sponge and go over everything. Cream contour slash bronzer. I use the About Face bronzer stick in Beach Goth. Love this shade. Also, it's a very like neutral. I'm gonna go a little heavy-handed today, but I love this stuff. It blends so easily. And then I like to just take this little e.l.f. putty bronzer brush. It's like little angled like this. I like to place this like right in the hollow, because like I said, for me, this shade I feel like is a perfect contour and bronzer. So I don't like to go, like, I don't want to spread the product around too much. On my nose, I'll be a little bit more like swipey. Like I'll kind of just blend it like this. It's a very forgiving product, I will say that. Like, I feel like you don't have to be very picky about how you blend it out, because it blends out so easily. And especially on my forehead, I like to kind of make sure I blend that into my hairline and down, so it's a little bit more seamless. And I really focus on blending like the edges of it. And then under here, I more so just really try to make sure that it's blended out really well, because I don't want it to look like I have like a chin strap, even though that's exactly what it looks like. So I will do all kinds of, I'll go like this. I'll be looking like up and under, like no harsh lines or harsh shadows under there at all. I think I'm going to go with this one for blush today. This is the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Suave Mauve. And for liquid blush, I like to put it on the back of my hand. I have always loved the e.l.f. Putty Primer Application Brush for liquid blush for some reason. Something about it, I feel like just applies blush really well, especially if I like go off of the back of my hand. And I like to go pretty high up with my blush, like on my cheekbone, but then I also really like to pull it in towards my face because I have like very round cheeks. So I feel like it looks kind of cute if there's a little bit of color right here, but I like it most concentrated right up here, like especially right under in my eye. That's why I haven't done concealer yet, because I like to blend my concealer kind of into my blush. But then I also like to take my sponge and kind of like soften it up, especially on the lower half and center of my face. For concealer, lately I've been loving these two. The Tier double-ended one, what is it called? The Glide and Hide Blurring Concealer, and the Milani Conceal and Perfect. For the Tier one, I like using the cream side for more like spot concealing and right here under my chin, because I don't want like a lot of product under there like that. Sometimes I'll put it around my nose too, like this, depending on my vibe. I don't know. It's a great concealer, so I feel like you really can't go wrong with using it however you want to. And then the liquid one I'll put under my eyes. I'm gonna put it only like in the center though, because since I want to do kind of a full glam look, I'm gonna play around with my concealers a little bit today. The Milani one, this is a little bit of a lighter shade, so I'm gonna put this here, like right next to it. Not quite all the way under yet though, because I want to try using, I have the LA Pro Conceal, the white concealer, and I think I want to try that on my very inner corner today for the first time. I've never used a white concealer, and today just feels like it should be that day. I'm going to start on the outer edge of my concealer first. And then the ones that I use like for spot concealing, I kind of just use my finger to tap it in because I don't use too much product there. And this is also when I will take my blush brush and go back on this edge here and like blend my blush and my concealer together to make sure that it looks nice and blended out how I want it to. So I'm going to try the LA colors. So I'm going to do just like a little bit right on the inner corner. Not too much. I've seen some people like mix this with their concealer to make sure it's not like too bright. But I feel like I should just try it out and just see. I'm going to try to keep this in the inner corner as much as possible. Oh, that blended so nicely. Wait. I will admit, obviously having the leftover concealer on my brush definitely adds to it. Oh, that looks so cute. Oh my god, like it brightened, but it's not like stark white. I like that a lot. Especially because I feel like it kind of blends into my eyeshadow a little bit better too. I'm going to take my L'Oreal powder with my little powder puff, just lightly set that. And then before I go on to setting the rest of my face, Kimchi white setting powder, and with like just the tip of it, pop this right where I put that white concealer. Back in the L'Oreal one, I'm gonna cut like right under where I put my bronzer contour, and then using my big like powder brush, set the rest of my face. I'm going to use my L'Oreal Infallible bronzer. This is in the shade Light Medium. I don't like to use too much of this. My winter mode, so I don't like my makeup to like be too much warmer than I actually am. I'm going to use this for my nose. So I go from my brow down. I don't like to do it too much around my like the tip of my nose. I honestly like to focus on this part more so. I feel like that does enough for me. For blush, I think I'm gonna go in with this one from e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Matte Blush in Always Tempting. And I'm going to very, very lightly go over top everything. And then I forgot to do this with my cream. I've been liking putting some on my nose bridge like this. Sophia Sinat's like makeup style, and then a little bit on the chin. Not too much, just a little bit. I'm going to take my e.l.f. liquid liner. This is I think it's called the Expert one, right? Yeah, the Expert liquid liner. I always get it in the 2-pack. I like this one because it's one of those brush tip applicators. That looks really bad, actually. I'm gonna do the other side. Okay, this side looks a little bit better. How the fuck can I fix this? Okay, hang on. They might not look that bad to you guys, but they look really bad to me. Or maybe they do look really bad to you guys. I should have done the eyeliner first. Honestly, that's one of my biggest tips. I feel like always do like as much of your eye makeup as you can before you do your base, because you're gonna, like, if you mess up, you're gonna have to like fix stuff up, and it's just way easier to fix things, or to like, you know, have less product around your eye makeup. My NYX Lift and Snatch to fill in my brows. I would mostly fill in like the tail here. I feel like there's a very subtle difference. While I still have this out, I'm just gonna do what I usually do, which is do my little beauty marks right here. I have 2 natural ones, one right under my right eye, one right above my left eye, and then I like to add one right here, and then lately I actually have a very, very small one that naturally is right there, so I've been adding one there. But then I also like to use this to make the inner corner little wing, because I feel like it's just really nice and sharp, and it's a lot more forgiving than using my liquid liner in there. And then to finish up my brows, I'm just going to use my NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. So now I'm going to like set all of my powders. I love the One Size Powder Melt. I used to use the NYX Bear With Me. You know what? I haven't used the NYX Bear With Me in a long time. So let's see how that looks. Because it's been, this was my go-to setting spray. Like, I'd only use this one, nothing else. Because it's a prime, set, and refresh spray. So I feel like it does what like a lot of the sprays that I use now essentially do. So I'm going to try it. So I'm going to tightline with the ColourPop Cream Gel Eyeliner in Brouhaha. And then I think I'm going to tightline with it today as well. For my lower lash line, I actually forgot to do this earlier. I'm going to use that same like small flat brush. We're going to go in with Velveteen first, right up against the lash line. If you feel like your eyes are a little too sensitive for that, I really recommend getting a brush like this and just like kind of stamping it and trying it out that way. And then I'm going to take Baubles, which is that dark brown shade, and this I'm going to put like right up against that eyeliner. For my like highlight, specifically my highlight on my cheeks and right here in the center of my nose, I want to use from my Effervescence palette from Blend Bunny and May Pang. I want to use the pink one, which is in the shade Bloom here in the center. This is like a pink iridescent that has a clear base, but I love this because it'll kind of like add to the pink on our cheeks. I've gotten really into glitter. Fun makeup really got me inspired. Like some creators like Ariana that I've been like obsessed with, that are like just makeup girls that are just putting that shit on, got me back into putting like glitter and stuff all over my face. Had the Fenty Kilowatt highlighter for so long, and this is the most I think I've ever used her. I use this in almost every makeup look now. I'm gonna use this right on top. And I like to just use my finger because it's like a very creamy powder. So you can just use your finger like and glide it right on top. And then I'm also gonna put this on my eyes. This is like my favorite glitter topper for eyeshadows. Lashes are on. So I'm going to start first with MAC lip liner in Plum. Kind of soften it out with my finger. Then we're going to go in with Chestnut right on top. Now I'm going to go in with MAC Be My Bridesmaid. And then I'm going to take first Pink Velvet just in the center here. And then Tutti Frutti. Alrighty guys, I think this is my final makeup. Well, let me know what you guys think, if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.